friends, welcome back to She's At It Again. I've started a project that I've been needing to do for probably a couple of months now, and I've been putting it off, but I just remembered this morning that I need to do it. So I went and got my garlic. I want to show you how to make something. It's fermented garlic and honey, and although it doesn't sound like something that you'd necessarily eat, people actually eat this. I'm not a huge fan of it. My husband is certainly not a huge fan of it. He doesn't even like the taste of this, but he'll take it. And here's the reason why. Anytime we get the first sign of a cold, exhibit any kind of sneezing, or just, you know how your face just kind of itches, you feel like you're about to get a cold and you don't know what to do and you start panicking, and even though you try to make better choices, you run to the ibuprofen or something like that. I would encourage you to do your research on ibuprofen and things like that before you just take it haphazardly and think, oh well, everybody takes this. Well, no, they don't. But I would say there's nothing bad in this. Not one single thing is something that could adversely affect you, of course, unless you're allergic to garlic or honey. So I want to show you real quick how to do this. This is so simple. It literally has 2 ingredients in it, but it's so very helpful, and you just keep it in your pantry. You can keep it in the refrigerator after it ferments, but here's how simple it is. This is what I just bought. This is just organic garlic, and they look like this, but I've peeled a couple of bags of them. And you take a sterilized canning jar. Make sure it's a canning jar because you want that lid to be airtight on it eventually. Not at first, though. So we're going to take the garlic and fill it almost to the top. And this is just, whoops, I can get it upside down. This is just raw honey. Now, it needs to be raw. It doesn't need to be something that's been heated, preferably raw and unfiltered. This is not local honey. This is probably filtered, but better unfiltered than not. And I'm going to tell you why this is good. Honey has its own special microbial abilities. I'm actually reading this off this website that I get a lot of my information from. Honey has its own special microbial abilities and is also a prebiotic that will ferment the garlic. Garlic is also a huge prebiotic, and together they make for a wonderful food that works like medicine that's super easy to make. I know that garlic, I'm understanding this when I read it, it produces something called allicin, A-L-L-I-C-I-N, and it's an organosulfur compound, and it that when you crush it or nick it somehow, it has these properties that kind of fight off. It's a defense mechanism. It attacks against pests and things like that on a garlic plant. So all that being said, garlic is wonderful for you. Honey is wonderful for you. And together, when they ferment, it's synergistic. So it's almost like saying 1 + 1 is 5. If garlic is great, honey is great, together when they ferment, it's absolutely fabulous. It's like off the charts good. So you take your honey. I'm going to show you how this is done. You're just going to pour it in, and it'll run all the way to the bottom. And eventually, when you get your honey all the way in there and it fills up, you'll want to shake it around and use a little spatula or something to make sure all the air bubbles are out. The next thing we're going to do after we get all the honey in there is that we're going to put the lid on it, set it in the dark pantry, and every day we're going to take it and remove the lid to burp it, because fermenting means excess air in there that you want to burp out of it. And it'll start bubbling after about 3 days. So you can top it off. If the honey gets below the level of the garlic, you can always add more honey to it. But just make sure you put it someplace where you can remember to burp the jar. So you're going to take the lid off and kind of poke your spatula down in there again, get any air bubbles out. But you'll start seeing it ferment and kind of getting bubbly on the top. That just means that it's doing what it's supposed to do. So then, after about 3 days, you'll start seeing it where it'll get really active, and this honey might turn darker. It's not going to hurt it. But I take and usually shake mine. I'll take it and flip it upside down. Put the lid on real good. I'll flip it upside down, make sure all the air bubbles are out. And you can see there's a tiny air bubble right there and one right there. But we want all these to be gone from there. The honey will start getting a little bit runnier. And that's okay. It's just doing what it's supposed to do. Okay, so today is Thursday. I'll come back and finish this video up or do the next segment of it on Sunday. And you can see the bubbly on the top of it. So I'll show that to you. But in the meantime, go out and get yourself, let's see, 3 ounces. I have about 6 ounces of garlic here, and not all would fit in here. You can put it in a bigger jar, but I would recommend just starting out with these. Make a couple of them. Make some for your friends. I made some for a friend one time, and now she makes it on her own, and she's passed it on to another friend who never goes without it. In fact, she came over and borrowed mine because she ran out or something. They were going to go on a trip, and they needed it, and she was panicking. And so that's why I need to make some more, because she got mine. But that's fine. But it helps her family. She never goes without this. So I'm telling you, this is good stuff. It will not be your favorite flavor thing, but if you want to stave off a cold, if you think you've been around somebody with a cold, just to eat a clove of this garlic, just chew it up, swallow it, get it over with. And I'm telling you, it does great things. Now, I'm not here to say this is medicine. Don't write me up. Don't turn me in. But this is good stuff to have. So we'll be back in about 3 days, and I'll show you what it looks like at that point. Okay. It's just Friday. It's not Sunday yet. So it's only been, well, it's been less than 24 hours since I put our garlic in our jars. Now, this is just one of them. I just opened one of them just to make sure it was fermenting. And you know it's fermenting when you hear that psh, when you open the lid. So we'll see if this one does it too. Now, I've had these. This is how I store them overnight. So you don't get any, yeah. Anyway, honey covers the whole batch of garlic. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. Okay, let's see if we can hear it. Ah, did you hear that? Okay, I heard it. Let's try the next jar. I had this one stored upside down as well, but we have it right side up now. Oh, that's good. That's what we want to hear. Now, after I turned the camera off yesterday, I realized I really had too much garlic in there, so I took some of them out, but it's kind of bubbly. You can see the bubbliness of it. Nice and fermenting. Just poke those back down in there. We'll put the jar lid back on. And again, store them upside down. Now what you want to do is, I would say probably maybe 2 or 3 times a day. As many times as you think about it, just go, turn them right side up, let the honey go back down off the lid, open it up, and burp that jar. That's all you're doing, is just letting that air out. Because even though it's a canning jar and it can withstand a lot of pressure, we don't want to risk it. But just keep burping it. We're going to do this about 3 days. Again, I'll come back on Sunday, unless I get so excited about it, having so much fermentation. I'll come back tomorrow. But for now, this is how it's looking. Still kind of light colored. Now this honey, I forgot to tell you this too. I get so excited when I start telling you something, I forget half the information. But the honey will get very, very liquidy. It won't be as near as viscous as it is now. So it's super thick now. It's super thick when we put it in there. But even if you have honey that has crystallized, scoop it out, pack it down in there with that garlic, and that fermentation process will make that honey so runny. It's actually pourable. It's quite nice. Very, very pourable. Okay, gonna flip these back upside down, and when we come back, we'll see what's happening. And this is what can happen when you don't burp them, when you think, maybe I should burp it before I go to bed, and then I don't. So, yeah, that stinks. Okay, these were upside down. And it was either this one or this one that was leaking. But it actually got on the lid of this one. But we'll fix that. We'll get the honey all cleaned up and then burp them. And here we go again for another day. I got 4 jars going though. Okay, sorry. I just got up this morning. So this is how it is. I just want to show you how to burp the jars. Maybe I didn't clarify that. And if you hear that noise, that's the air coming out. I can hear it kind of sizzling. all that is just the fermentation. So close it back up and you're ready to go for another few hours anyway. Okay, we're back. It's Sunday morning, about to leave for church, but I thought I'd show this to you. And this is on its third day. So this is probably in the middle of fermenting. I don't really know how long it takes. Maybe it ferments forever. I'm not sure. But when you feel a cold coming on or something, take one of these garlic cloves. If you can't hack, just putting a whole one in your mouth and chewing it up. Just take a piece of it and a little bit of the honey. The honey actually smells really good. I don't know what it would taste like, but garlic and honey together, that's like a fried chicken recipe right there. So anyway, hope you give this a try. Keep this in your pantry or in your refrigerator, whichever you feel comfortable doing. And it might just be your new favorite cold medicine to help shorten the duration of a nasty cold. So thanks for joining us, and we look forward to sharing something with you real soon. Bye. Okay, this is the last time I'm coming on. Sorry, I keep doing this. It's been a while since I've done this, and I forgot how long it takes to ferment. But today is Monday. This is Monday morning, and I did this on Friday. So I just came over here this morning when I first walked in the kitchen just a few minutes ago and twisted the lid, and they're actually still burping on here. So whatever you do, do not start this process. Don't add your garlic and your honey together and then go on vacation for a couple of days. You will have a major explosion in your cabinet. Now, what I've done is I've put these jars in this. This is just an old Tupperware square that I've had. And I put it in here just in case they start kind of oozing honey out the side. And a few of them did. In fact, I guess all of them did at one point. Kind of just a very tiny slow drip, but I think it's because the edge of the jar has some honey on it, so it's not sealed 100%. But I just want to let you know that even on 5 days away, you can still burp these jars. So if you want to leave the lid slightly open a bit, number one, do not overfill these. Number two, it's just garlic and raw honey. That's all it is. Number three, I think you're really going to love everything about this. But number four, don't leave the house and have some jars explode on you. That would be not very productive. But I have 4 jars going here, so I'll keep one. I'll share the other ones, namely with my sweet little friend across the street. And she's excited about getting some because she's never even heard of this before. So anyway, I just want to let you know that I didn't want to leave you hanging like, what is this even for? What's she doing? What does it look like? But again, the garlic's going to float to the top. This is going to get like I said, runnier and a little bit darker. But the main thing is just keep these garlics submerged as much as you can. If you have a weight to put down, that's great, like you would do if you were making homemade sauerkraut. And you can refer to my video for that if you want to. But the idea is to keep it underneath the level of the liquid, which is the honey, so it can ferment. But again, it's day 5 and I'm still burping these jars. But anyway, I really do hope you give this a try. Sorry, I just keep coming on and it sounds confusing. It's really not. It's 2 ingredients, super easy. But I just didn't want to mislead you into thinking, oh, after day 4, it's fine. You can just put a tight lid on it and walk away. So I just want to keep everybody safe out there. But again, thanks for joining us.